The tomb was being guarded on the other side by the soldiers because the chief priests and Pharisees had gone to Pilate and said, "Sir, we have considered that when this crazy man was still alive, he said to the people, 'I shall return after 3 days and 3 nights and rise, because I will only be in a state of near death.' But since it was established through a soldier that he was really dead, his tomb should be guarded so that no one can come, steal the body and say, 'Behold, he has risen from the dead after all!' Command therefore that the tomb be guarded up to the 3rd day, so that the last deception may not be worse than the first." And Pilate said to them, "Take my soldiers as guardians. Go and guard the tomb as best you can." And they departed, guarded the tomb, and secured the stone in front of the door with the seal. However, they did not realize the secret of the grave, namely, that it had 2 exits or entrances. Jmmanuel's helpress, therefore, could go to him to apply healing salves and herbs without being detected. On the 3rd day he was once again strong enough to walk. Chapter 31. Jmmanuel's flight from the tomb. When dawn broke on the 1st day of the week after Passover, the 3 days and nights had passed following which Jmmanuel would live again after his near death, as he had foretold. And behold, a great thundering arose in the air, and a radiant light came from the sky and settled on the earth, not far from the tomb. Then the guardian angel stepped forth from the light. His appearance was like lightning, and his garment was as white as snow. And he went to the tomb, and the soldiers, full of fear, moved out of his way. He lifted his hand, and from it bright lightning sprang forth and struck the soldiers, one after the other. And they fell to the ground and did not stir for a long time. Then the guardian angel stepped up to the tomb, rolled the stone away from the door, and said to Mary, the mother of Jmmanuel, and to Mary Magdalene, who were both there, "Don't be afraid. I know you seek Jmmanuel, the crucified. He is not here, for he is alive just as he said he would be. Come here and behold the place where he has lain. Go quickly and tell his disciples that he has risen from near death. Also tell them, he will walk before you to Galilee, and there you will see him. Behold, I have told you." But Mary asked, "Yet he was dead and lay here dead. How can he then rise?" The guardian angel answered, "Why are you seeking a live person among the dead? Go now and spread the news among his disciples, but beware of telling anyone else." And the guardian angel went to the bright light and disappeared into it. Soon a great thundering came forth from it again, and it rose up into the air, shooting straight into the sky. Jmmanuel's mother and Mary Magdalene then departed, leaving the tomb. The soldiers, however, recovered from their paralysis and were greatly astonished. So they went into the city to spread the news of what had happened. And secretly they met with the chief priests and elders of the council to decide what to tell the people. The chief priests and elders gave sufficient money to the soldiers and said, "Tell the people his disciples came at night while we were sleeping and stole his body." And the soldiers took the money and did as they had been instructed. Mary and Mary Magdalene, however, left and did as they had been mandated by the guardian angel. And behold, again a guardian angel met them on their way and said, "Remember what you have been instructed to do. Be careful and do not inadvertently tell the people." Mary Magdalene approached the guardian angel, who wore a brilliant white garment, and she wanted to grasp his hand. But he stepped back from her and said, "Do not touch me, because I am of a different kind from you, and my garment is a protection against this world. If you touch me you will dry and be consumed by fire. Step back from me and be on your way as you have been instructed." So they departed, and they met Peter and another disciple, telling them what had taken place. Peter and the other disciple went to the tomb, with the other disciple arriving there first. And he looked into the tomb and saw the linen bandages lying neatly on the ground, but he did not enter. Then Peter arrived, went into the tomb and found everything just as the other disciple had. The bandages had been carefully folded and placed on the ground. The sweat cloth, which had covered Jmmanuel's head, had been placed on a particular spot, together with the salves and herbs and clay figurines of peculiar appearance, the likes of which he had never seen before. Thus they were foreign to him. Jmmanuel's meetings with his disciples in the evening of the same day. The disciples were gathered in the room in the city where they had taken their last meal with Jmmanuel before Passover, and they were in the room speaking to each other about what had happened that day when, behold, the door opened and a stranger entered whom they had never seen before. And they were afraid that he might be one of the Israelites who wanted to betray them. But then the stranger said, "Peace be with you, Colin," and when he took the cloth from his face, they recognized him as Jmmanuel. After he had said that, he showed them his hands, his loin and his feet, and when they saw his wounds, they were happy he was among them. But Thomas believed a ghost to be in front of him. So he said, "If I could touch your wounds, I would know that you are not a ghost." Then Jmmanuel said to him, "Reach out and place your hand on my wounds, so that you of small mind may recognize the truth." So Thomas did as he had been told, and he touched his wounds and said, "Truly, it is you." Then Jmmanuel departed, saying, "Guard the secret of my return, so it will not be known that I am alive." And behold, the next day the disciples set out for Galilee to spread the joyful news among Jmmanuel's supporters. As other followers went along, behold, an itinerant joined them and for part of the way walked with them. They were sad and talked among themselves about how Jmmanuel had been forced to die on the cross. Then the itinerant, a stranger, said to them, "Why are you mourning?" And they told him what grieved them. But the itinerant said, "How little knowledge you yet have! Jmmanuel told you he would rise from near death after 3 days and nights. So just as he has said, it has happened." After he had spoken, he removed the cloth from his face, and they recognized him as Jmmanuel. But he said nothing more, and again covering his face, he withdrew. And he was not seen for a long time. Long after Jmmanuel had disappeared, it came to pass that the disciples were fishing on the Sea of Tiberias, and they caught nothing the entire night, so by daybreak they were exasperated. And when they approached the shore, there stood a stranger who asked, "Haven't you anything to eat?" "I'm hungry," they answered. "No, we have not caught one fish in our nets." Then the stranger said, "Throw the net out to the right side of the boat, and you will have a large catch." The disciples were astonished by what he said, but nevertheless cast the net. And behold, they could not pull it in because of the multitude of fish. And they came ashore and prepared a meal, for like the stranger they, too, were hungry. But when he uncovered his face, behold, it was Jmmanuel. And while they were eating and in good spirits, he said to them, "Go to Galilee to such and such mountain, there I will join you, because our time together has ended and each of us may go his separate way." Chapter 32. Jmmanuel's farewell. They went into the mountain to which Jmmanuel had directed them,